While toys are often our most treasured possessions, the lifespan of the average American toy is, well, not exactly our lifetime. Toys break, limbs crack, wheels pop off. For a child, when a toy breaks, it can mean the end of playtime, and this can be a more devastating moment. But most toys that go through child breakage tend to be fixable. In fact, it tends to be a nice bonding experience where you can help a child, your child, a friend's child, get back to playtime, and often toys can be repaired easily, and sometimes with slight modifications, they may even work better than they used to. Now, on the flip side, the other audience for toys, the adult collector, we're often plagued by the fact that toys that aren't available anymore because they're years old, eventually, sometimes plastic does crack and break, and you can't exactly replace it. So repairing it is your only option. Repairing toys is, well, it's a little bit of a science, but it's more of a kind of mad scientist swap because, well, there's no operating tools sold for fixing toys. Sometimes when a toy breaks, it's absolutely beyond repair, and pretty much the garbage or maybe a donation is the only option. Other times, you can actually get in there and fix things. You can fix almost anything, from circuit boards to loose joints, screws, wheels, axles, all sorts of things. And in my experience, both professionally and as a passionate lifelong toy collector, I have amassed quite a few items in my arsenal. My name is Toy Guru Neitlich. This is a Lego representation of me. I've been a toy brand manager and marketing director for many years, but as I said, I'm also a toy collector, so fixing toys has kind of become second nature. It's one of the things that I've converted the back area of my office to because, honestly, a lot of my toys do break after a while and they need repairs. So I wanted to show you some of the tools that I've some bought, some built, some created, some sort of, not hijacked, but, created my own out of necessity. So here I have one of the tools I love to use for getting into small areas, which are magnifying glasses. Available on Amazon, probably for less than $20, but really, really effective. The only con is you have to have the item right up to, what did I drop? Oh, that's an alien tail there. Okay, don't need that. All right, magnifying glasses, important. So 3 different types. I have standard clamping wrench that is great for turning things. I have your needle nose pliers, which is great for getting figures out of package, snipping those pesky little ties and other things, and then a long nose needle nose plier, which I mostly use to hold items in place while repairing, but definitely has use there. So those are the 3 handhold tools. Beyond that, this is a torque screwdriver. It's not a Phillips or a flathead. The head fits into this type of screw here, a star, if you will. Very important because a lot of toys, especially electronics, video games, are locked by these type of screws. So having a torque screwdriver, definitely something you want to get. All right, flathead and Phillips as well. Let's see, this is a small rock hammer. Really, really good for sort of banging things without too much torque breaking them. Always very helpful to have a tape measure around. All right, here's one of the ones that I created. Well, no, it's not just a hand. I do not use that hand for punching people. This is a paintbrush that I converted into a brush for glue. So a lot of times when I'm super gluing something, it's really helpful to have a glue to spread the super glue, or any kind of glue. I'm going to show you several. Sharpies, definitely good to have pens and fine points around. This is a fine point paintbrush for getting glue into tiny areas, or if I have to get glue inside of a cape hole or where a screw should go. Mainly for glue, I use standard super glue, but I really like to have the fine point where you can press on it. And it's also very helpful to have zip kicker, which you spray on something before you glue it. It helps the glue maximize the adhesive, not to be confused with Zippo. So 2 totally different things. Zip kicker is a glue adhesive bonder. Speaking of glue, there's a few others that I keep in my supply cabinet for any kind of project that might come my way, toy or other. So you cannot underestimate the power of mounting spray, especially for fixing things you want to put on your wall. Comic books, too, work great with that. Then I also like to have leather and suede glue. And you may be like, well, why that? It works great for capes. It works great for books. It's a very specific glue, but one you should have. Adhesive remover, great for getting tags off of items, price tags off of boxes. That'll take it right off. All right, one tool I cannot live without with. One tool I really love that I can't live without is this. It's called an extra set of hands, or a thingamajig. It has different terms, easily findable online or Amazon, usually noted as like a helping hands device. It's basically 3 clips and a magnifying glass, but I find this incredibly helpful for holding action figures or action figure accessories that I need to glue. So here's where I keep it here. You can use the magnifying glass just to make a humorous scene there. But yeah, so I use these clips. So if I'm, like, say, gluing a lightsaber blade into a hilt, I can clip the hilt and the blade together and hold it in place while the glue dries. Or like here, this action figure from Star Wars, Rastel, from Jabba's Dancers. When I did the review of her recently on the modern Star Wars figure playlist, I noticed that she had a chip in her shoulder, and I found that chip that broke off just over time, and so I put her in the little clamp there and glued the chip back in, and by having her clipped in like this, it basically allows, I can put her in any position, up, down, left, right, but not backwards through time, and it's great for keeping the figure still while the glue dries. Alright, so as I said, I kind of keep a lot of the things I have to repair together, and I like to have flat trays. And yes, fast food trays actually work great. I don't know how I wound up with one, but somehow I did. So I think my daughter accidentally brought it home. But it makes a great place to keep everything together. So here's a Marvel Legends Cyclops I need to fix by getting the arm back together. That just has to be put into the socket, and I need to pry open the body cavity. Here is a Grandma Ben figure from Bone. This is just going to be a straight glue job because it actually snapped. So there's no way to actually fix the articulation, but for display purposes, I could glue her head back on, which I plan to do. I tend to sort of do toy repair once a month where I put everything together and spend a couple hours doing that. Let's see, yeah, that Ninja Turtle needs a belt fixed. Let's see what else. So, this one. This is what I use to pry open the body cavity. It's actually a lobster pick. But it's great because the very firm metal will hold a body cavity open while I slip a peg inside. All right, and then if that doesn't work, you can always depend on a small screwdriver set. And I definitely recommend one of these because you're constantly screwing or unscrewing battery compartments, and having all of the different small types in one set, very, very helpful. So that's a look at kind of the main tools that I use. I'll improvise and get other things, but I find having really these 10 items, plus of course a Thanos there, and that's just if I make a mistake and need to use Thanos to reverse time and fix things. So other than that, yeah, glue, goggles for magnification, a couple different pliers, and some paintbrushes tend to be the standard tools. It's really about finding things that you can use to either hold figures' body cavities sort of open while you're inserting pegs into loose holes, or getting things glued together. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you do, let me know what tools you use to fix figures. Did I miss anything? Were any of these really helpful? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.